Are you part of the 85% of Americans who have credit card debt? Does that credit card debt keep you up at night? Is it keeping you from living your best life? If the answer is yes, then I have great news for you, because today I'm going to show you how you can get out of your credit card debt fast and save thousands of dollars in the process. So today I'm going to talk about my accelerated debt elimination program. And if you stay to the very end, I'm going to show you how you can get my $500 program for free. Today, I'm just going to break it apart so that you have the overview of how this works. The average credit card debt in the U.S. for a household, for a family, is $17,500 with an interest rate of 29%. So that's the example I'm going to use today. So if you have credit card debt, and let's just say it's similar to the example that we're putting on the board, I'm assuming you probably have more than one credit card. So how this works is you start with looking at your credit cards and listing them out, and then list out the balances with the lowest balance first. So the lowest balance, let's say in this case, is $2,500, credit card 1. Credit card 2, let's say, is $5,000. And credit card 3 is $10,000. So these are the balances we have on the credit cards. And I want you to put them in lowest first. Many times we'll say, well, Krisstina, don't you want to put it with the highest interest rate first? No, I want you to put the lowest balance first, because the idea is I want you to get this first credit card paid off, and the lowest balance is going to pay off quicker. So because once you get that first paid off, it gives you so much incentive to keep going, because it feels so good to just wipe out that first credit card. And it feels even better, of course, when we wipe out that third. But in this case, we have these 3 credit card balances. Now, rounding a little bit, but the minimum payments for each of these credit cards is, the minimum payment for a $2,500 balance is around $150. For $5,000, it's around $250. And for $10,000, it's around $450. So these are the minimum payments that you're making towards each of these credit cards. So we have 4, 6, 7, 850. So we have is that right math? So we have $850 going towards our minimum payment. And so each month you're paying $850 per month, goes to the minimum pay. How long do you think it's going to take you to pay off this $17,500 of credit card debt by making the minimum payment? It's going to take you around 3 years. So you're going to be making that payment of $850 for 3 years. Now, this is the problem that we face, is because we max out the credit cards. We can only really afford the minimum payments because we've maxed these babies out, because that's all the money we have basically to put towards the credit card payments. So we just pay these minimum payments, and it goes on for 3 years. What we want to do is we want to cut that 3 years in half, or even more than half. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do, show you what to do. So $850, $350, or 3 years. So what I want you to do is I want you to find an extra $250 per month. So I teach this in my program, in my Money Mastery class, and my students, what I'll have them do is I have them uncover where all of their money's going. So they're going to look at 90 days worth of expenses, and they're going to line item out where all that money's going. How much money's going towards groceries? How much money's going to electricity? How much money's going towards eating out? How much money's going to subscriptions? How much money's going through pet walking services? Like whatever the case is, but they outline, and then they add up how much they're spending on a monthly basis with each of these line item categories. And what we find most often is where my students will be like, holy cow, Krisstina, I had no idea I was spending $250 a month on subscriptions, for example, because it's $10 here, $500 there, $5 there, between Spotify and Netflix and Acorn and ESPN and you name it. They didn't know what it added up to. So when they find the $250, that's step one. Step one is to find $250 that's kind of meaningless spending. And if it's subscriptions, it's like, okay, we're going to cancel those subscriptions, at least for the next year. We're going to cancel those babies. And instead of paying the $250 towards the entertainment industry, we're going to pay $250 towards the banking industry to get us out of debt. So what we do is you pay that $150 towards your minimum payment, but now we're going to add this extra $250 so that we have a total payment of $400 per month now that you're putting towards this first credit card. Now, credit card 2 and 3, you keep the minimum balances the same. You just keep making these minimum payments. But all we've done is we found $250 just by getting rid of the subscriptions. We're adding it onto the principal for this total of $400. Now, how long is it going to take us to pay off this credit card number 1 by applying this extra $250 per month? Any guesses? We're going to take it down from 3 years to about 8 months. You should be saying 8 months, 3 years to 8 months? That's amazing. I mean, why wouldn't we do this right now? Like, start this process right now, because what's going to happen after only 8 months? You've gotten rid of that credit card balance. It's gone. You cut that baby up, throw it in the trash, and you vow to never put money on that credit card again. And now you're going to feel so much lighter already because that balance is paid off, and it was paid off in the record time. But wait, there's even more. Any clue how much interest you're paying on this $2,500 balance for this 3 years? This is just interest. You've already bought the thing you bought, which was the price tag, but now we get to pay interest for the privilege of buying that on our credit card. Aren't the banks nice, that privilege? They let us pay extra money on top of what we already bought just to be able to spread out those payments. So what we're doing in this case is that interest on this would be about $1,100. We'd be spending $1,100 of interest if we're going to do this 3 years. But when you pay it off in 8 months versus 3 years, you're saving, this is called interest saved, we're saving $900 in interest. That means that's money that you get to keep. You get to put in one of your buckets. You get to put it somewhere in your bank account as opposed to just giving the banks more money. So now, the credit card number 1's paid off. We get to keep $900. Yay us. Don't we feel successful already? So now what we do is we've been paying this minimum payment on this credit card for this whole time. But now we're going to take the total amount that we're paying over here, and this is going to be the additional amount we put towards the second credit card. So in this case, we're paying $650 per month towards this credit card. And that's what we do. We've moved from, because all we did is we're already paying $150 for this minimum balance, and we're already paying this additional amount. So we're already used to paying this $400 for credit card number 1. Now we're just going to move it down and apply that same $400 to credit card number 2, add on the minimum balance for a total of $650. And how long do you think it's going to pay now to pay off this credit card? It's going to take this, once we start accelerating this is going to take this down to 10 months. So this is going to be paid off that much quicker and saving us at least a year on paying interest on this credit card. So how much interest is this going to take us by taking that down from 3 years, let's say in this case 10 months? It's going to take us to we would have paid around $2,300 of just interest if we would have taken this out for 3 years, but if we can cut that down, we might have savings close to $1,600. So again, this is money. These are monies that you get to keep in your pocket versus paying it towards the banks. It's real savings. We don't think about how much we're paying on top of what we already bought just in interest charges. We're just paying attention to that minimum payment without realizing what the true cost of this interest is. So now, same thing applies. We've paid off that credit card 10 months later. It's gone. Yahoo! Wow, we have $7,500 debt paid off, out of debt. We're going to cut off that credit card. Never going to put $1 on that one. Done. Yay me. So we're going to now take this $650 because we're already paying $250 minimum balance. We've already been used to paying this $400 over this time. So now this $650 that we were paying, again, our budget's not changed. Now we're going to pay that extra here. So now we're going to have what? $1,100. So we're paying this $1,100. We've gone from $450 a month to $1,150 per month that we're paying off this $10,000 credit card. How long do you think it's going to take us once we start applying this? How long do you think it's going to take? It's going to take roughly 12 months. So we're taking this down from 3 years and we're reducing it. And this is what we do to pay this off in rapid, fast time. And now, once you do that, 12 months later, your third credit card's paid off. We cut that up and we vow never to get in credit card debt again because all our credit card debt is paid off. And if we would have continued to pay just the minimum payment for the 3 years, the interest on this one would have been close to $4,600. So if we would have kept all of this, this is the interest we would have paid on if we just made the minimum payment. So looking at that, we bought $17,500 of something. In fact, we probably, if I had you list everything you bought for $17,500 on these three credit cards, you wouldn't remember. In other words, it wasn't that important because you can't even remember what you spent this $17,500 on. But worse yet, that you bought it on things you can't remember, you paid $8,000 of interest to buy the stuff and to spread out those payments. That's a lot of money. What else could you spend $8,000 on, or what could you invest in and make money on that money as opposed to giving the bank set interest? And if we did this could be savings of around $5,600. So the idea here is that savings here would be probably $3,000. But the idea here is that you could save thousands of dollars worth of interest by paying this off quicker. So again, step one, it just starts with finding that extra $250. Step two is just to list out these credit cards, figure out the minimum payments, and start putting this payment process in play. It really is that simple. And you can calculate how long it's going to take you to pay these off by the amount of additional that you're going to put towards your principal. Now, there's two mistakes that I see people make most often. Is one, they just keep making these minimum payments for 3 years without realizing they can pay it off quicker. Or two, they pay a little extra towards principal in each of the credit cards. And this versus paying a little bit extra towards each of the credit cards, you're gonna pay off everything much faster by doing this type of method. So simple, easy to follow, easy to get out of debt. And I use this exact same process to get out of 6 figures worth of credit card debt many years ago, and was able to pay off over 6 figures of debt within 24 months. And I've never acquired personal debt again. I'm 100% debt free, will always be debt free, knock on wood. And once I learned this process, it changed everything. All right, I said if you stayed at the very end, I was going to give you a special link. So the special link is this accelerated debt elimination process is a little program that I built, and that program is $495 on my website. But by staying to the end of this video, if you'd like that program for free, just click the link that's in the description and you'll link in and you'll get my process. It will include the forms, it includes some videos, a little bit like what I did today, and just will make it very easy for you to go ahead and get your debt elimination process in play to pay off that debt. Paying off your debt is going to change your life, and you'll thank me later. All right, thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, subscribe, do that thumb like or whatever you're supposed to do here that, I don't know, helps all those algorithm things. So anyway, have a great day.